It's 60 years into a life after people. Across the planet, nature's relentless home invasion confronts every former shelter and community with catastrophic threats. Like those that created the eerie ruins of Balestrino. This ancient Italian hill town survived a dark and tortured past, but could not survive the shifting earth beneath its walls.
If the stones of Balestrino could talk, they'd tell a story of 700 years of the rise and fall of a community. The story of a town teetering on the brink of collapse over many centuries, but surviving because man has used its intellect and ingenuity to keep it surviving.
Beneath this once picturesque village lies an ancient legacy of brutality and oppression. Here, in this decaying courtyard, the lords of Balestrino once meted out barbaric punishments to anyone who challenged their cruel dominion.
One of the most common penalties was just to hang people with their wrist behind their back so that in time the shoulders broke and the victim would not be able to work and would die of starvation.
From the 1400s onward, the town was ruled by feudal lords who treated the impoverished townspeople like slaves.
The Marquis was a tyrant, an absolute owner of the people and the place. He owned the ovens, the water, the streams around the area, and all that was connected with the food for the people depended on him.
Balestrino's feudal history planted the seeds of its physical collapse. Since the feudal lords reserved the best building materials for themselves, residents had to make do with whatever they could find.
This reveals a lot about the construction of these buildings. The external skin of this wall has fallen away and revealed the underlying construction. I can see different types of stone incorporated into the wall, what looks like sandstone, limestone, bits of brick, tiles, anything that was available to the builders, they've incorporated in and cemented it in with a loose lime mortar.
And when the area's frequent earthquakes damaged fragile homes, residents again had to make do.
What we have here is a room with a double vaulted roof, but at some time in its history, it's developed a crack right along the center. And they've tried to repair and stabilize that crack by putting in this tie from side to side and tighten it up. Originally, this was an arched opening. You can see the arched stones here. But at a later date, it's been plastered over and a simple rectangular framing put in. But look at the crack. In time, that's going to get worse and worse. And already, you can see the framing is close to failure.
The modern age brought Balestrino freedom from the cruel grasp of tyranny, but not the iron grasp of nature.
The buildings are built on the slopes. Now, if those slopes are susceptible to landslips and movements, then so will the buildings be.
Unstable soil and Italy's susceptibility to devastating earthquakes compounded the problems of the town's makeshift construction. In 1997, an earthquake in Assisi, 200 miles away, provided a stark reminder of the threat lurking beneath Italy's sun-drenched landscape. Even the famed Basilica of St. Francis provided no sanctuary. Fearful that even worse could happen on Balestrino's failing hillsides, the town was abandoned in the 1950s. The Italian government evacuated all homes and built a newer, safer village nearby. Since then, Balestrino's slow slide to ruin bears testimony to the impermanence of the works of man.
If armies of the past failed to conquer Balestrino, nature's now winning the battle.
In the mere 60 years since people were banished from Balestrino, catastrophic failure radiates in every direction.
This used to be a street, a thoroughfare through the town. And what's happened here is this entire gable wall has collapsed, creating the rubble. And even the tie bars that are a common feature of the stabilization measures for these buildings haven't been strong enough to prevent the whole wall collapsing into the street.
Today, streets that echoed with children's laughter now echo only with the bleating of stray goats. Ubaldo Pastorino grew up in Balestrino.
Sono I ricordi più belli della mia vita.
I can recall the happiest memories of my life. My father shaving on the balcony. My grandmother giving us dried figs. It's a pity because now everything is in ruins. It makes me sad.
È malinconico questo.
Even today, there are signs that the hillside is still on the move. And in the long run, it'll be nature that wins the battle, and the hillside will overcome, once again, the town of Balestrino, leaving little sign of what has been there for centuries.
The decline and fall of Balestrino bears mute testimony to the impermanence of every home on the planet. In the next centuries after people, an icon of California's sunny lifestyle prepares to surf down a cliff face. And a different kind of surf spells doom for New York's Co-op City.